Right, let's just check if everything's running. So there we go. I think I'm live. I've got a green light on the connection, so we'll see how it goes. So for anyone joining this stream after it's come out, I'm basically going to try out these new guitar strings. I've heard of them before, but I've never actually used them. It's the Dean Markleys. I've just got to decide which of my guitars needs it the most. I'm thinking this one could do with a restring. Very, very grotty looking strings on there. But before I do that, a couple of things just to say. I had a few questions about the raffle that I've got going on at the minute. They said that, you know, what happens if the time of the raffle runs out before all the tickets are sold? There's 200 tickets on each guitar. And basically what happens is, if the raffle gets really close, I will send the guitars out anyway. Or what raffle do is when they draw the winner, when the timeline's finished, they give 75% of the ticket sales as a cash prize instead. And then obviously I just get to keep the guitars and nothing else. So that's the sort of main questions people had on the raffles. Links to the raffle are in the video before this one, where I went over the guitars. And I also had a few questions about reverb. At the minute, it's just the new stock that's on there. I will be hitting the road this week to get some more used stock. I had some problems with the car and everything last week, so I didn't get a chance to get out and restock. But so yeah, that's it really. Just a few of the raffle questions. Ed, hey, how's it going, mate? You just changed the strings. Yeah, I've already done a restring today, but I need to do some of my own guitars, which is always the ones that get left at the minute. What was I saying? Yeah, so that was the raffle questions. If the time runs out, you just get a cash prize, or if it's close, I'll send the guitars out anyway. And then stock update with reverb. Like I said, there'll be more stuff on there. Towards the end of this week, I've got to go out and hunt the guitars down first. Steve, how's it going? So I should have sort of put a bit more prep into this, but I just thought I'd go live. I'm just going to have a look at which guitar I actually want to restring here, because I've only got one pack on me. Obviously, I'm not at work, so I haven't got my workbench and all the tools I'd normally use. But I do have this guitar as well that hasn't been strung in probably 2 months or so. You won't be able to see this, but I'm just seeing how grotty they actually are. In fairness, this one probably needs it more. But that one's easier because I've got locking machine heads on there, so I might go for that one. Because I might not like the strings yet as well, so I'll leave that one for now. Put that one back. So yeah, I just thought I'd restring my guitar live and get picked apart in the comments at how I do it. You know, everyone has their own sort of way of doing restrings. I have my sort of tips and tricks that I do. I'll show you in this video. But once you've done enough, you'll just do it your own way. And I wouldn't even know how many restrings I've done up to now. Probably not quite 1,000, but definitely in the high hundreds, that's for sure. Yeah, this one's definitely not as bad as that one. This guitar's also had a fret level twice and is looking pretty sorry for itself. It is going to need a refret at some point next year. But I've been putting it off because I wasn't sure whether to change the neck. But anyway, Dr. Nerd can't hang out. Hope all are well. Studio looks cool, by the way. It is getting there, mate. I've slowly started putting things up on the wall. I had a few birthday presents, which the camera can't see. I got a Hendrix poster and a couple of other posters, some plane stuff. Anyone else who likes planes in here? No one's ever pointed out the planes in the background yet. Ed 5. Sorry, I can't read. 5 out of 6 strings. Old strings got stuck in the bridge block. Yeah, that'll probably happen on this guitar as well. I normally have a little Allen key that I use to poke through, or you can just use the cut off of the thick string and push that through. That'll get the balls out. But that happens a lot with PRSs as well. They do it constantly for some reason. Right, so let's get on. I am going to restring this one, I think, because, like I said, I've got locking tuners and it'll just be a bit easier. So, like I said, I'm not on my workbench, so I'm going to be doing this completely sort of, I don't know, al fresco restringing on the floor, like we all started. I'm sure everyone does it. So I'm going to move that down. I am on a delay, so I'm going to just see how that looks a minute. Unless I go there and then I'll see it. Yeah, that'll do. Where are we at? There we go. Yeah, I use a low E string. Yeah, that's generally what I do. I've like I said, I've got a tool somewhere, but that's what I do. I'm going to take my headphones off because I don't need them yet. And let's get to it. So like I said, it's the Dean Markley signature strings. I'm going to move the mic down and I'll just have to get you to see if you can still hear me or not, because this thing's real sensitive. Sorry if that's super noisy. Alright, that should do it. Alright. So like I said, Dean Markley strings, 9 to 46. On any S-type guitar, I tend to use 9 to 46s. And I've also got this little thing here, which will make it easier. Probably seen these before. I do sell these, they're $24.99 delivered. And to be fair, they're pretty tacky feeling. They don't feel that great, but they do make restringing a lot quicker. But I've got locking tuners here, so I'm not going to need them. I'm just going to wind them down. In fact, I will use it. People always say, should you do one string at a time? And I find on a Les Paul or a Strat or a Tele or something, just take them all off. It doesn't matter. I'll show you a common mistake as well that people do with locking tuners. I've seen it a lot when I've gone out and bought guitars, and I'll show you what I mean when we get there. Right, so they're all floppy. I've got some string cutters here somewhere. Yeah, so I've got these string cutters that have the winders on. These are really, really good, but the screw inside there always comes off. So this just makes it so much easier. So I'm going to cut all the strings. I tend to go somewhere around the sort of 7th, 9th fret and cut them there. And cut a couple at a time with these as well. Pretty good cutters, to be fair. Now I've got the strings off, I can see a lot of gunk on this fingerboard. I will clean that off. 9 to 46s, yeah man. Did you stick with 9 to 46? Let me know if you can still hear me, by the way, because I'm sort of guessing. I haven't got any levels or anything for the mic. I'm going to take these strings out. Obviously it helps if you undo the locking tuner bits first. These thumb wheel locking tuners are awesome, to be fair. Such a great thing. Take all them off. Get stabbed in the foot when I forget that I've dropped a string. It's usually what happens. I'll put these to the side. Right, here we go then, Ed. Let's see if the strings get stuck in there or not. I never have the backs on guitars for this exact reason, because they're just annoying. If this comes out first time without one getting stuck, I'll be very surprised. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, there we go. Oh no, we have got one. Yeah, we got all 6 out in one go. Just as I was saying, that happens every time. Typical, eh? Hold them up. So yeah, they're pretty minging. They're all falling apart on me as I'm taking them off. So, my camera is only a little 720p webcam, but you might be able to see how low these frets are at this point and sort of dulled down and a bit gunked out. Like I said, I'm not on my workbench, so I don't have all my usual tools and stuff, but what I will do, I do have my Crimson fretboard restorative. Don't know why I've shown it to the mic. That's awesome stuff for getting gunk off. And the fret rubbers as well. Every single guitar that I sell, I go over the frets with a fret rubber. If it's rosewood or whatever, I'll use that, and it just makes the world of difference to the guitar. What I am going to do though is just leave you 2 seconds while I get some kitchen roll just to wipe that oil in, because the fingerboard is very gunky. So give it a sec. I didn't have to go too far there. Have I got anything to rest this on? Yes. Professional net rest, a bag. You don't need all the tools to do a good job sometimes. So what I'm going to do first, like I said, usually I'd mask this off, but it is only a rubber, so it's not too bad, and the sort of stuff will come off with the fretboard wipe. So if I can get the camera, like I said, I don't know if it will show up, but I'm on a delay. Hopefully you can see what them frets look like. And I'll just go a few passes over each one, and you'll hopefully see the difference on that little camera. But these things are pretty cheap and they just make the guitar feel so much better. And you're not taking really anything off the frets. Well, you're not taking hardly anything. So it just gives them a nice clean without worrying about, you know, if you're making them uneven. And this guitar is, like I said, pretty close to a refret at this point. So I'm not overly worried about it at this point in time. I'm just going to try and get them cleaned up just to feel nice and fresh. Because it's always nice to get the guitar as fresh as possible when you restring. What have we got? Sound is fine, thanks dude. Still hear you, yeah, stick with them. Changed to the Dario. Yeah, the Dario is my favourite string brand as well, even though I do use Ernie Ball on the shop guitars. I'll use Ernie Ball here too, but the Dario for me, I've got like ridiculously sweaty sort of skin, and I do wreck the Dario, and I do wreck Ernie Ball strings pretty quick, to be fair, compared to the Dario. But that's why we're trying these Dean Markley strings, because I have heard of them, but I've never used them. Like I said, ever on anything. So I'm going to give them a go and see what they're like. Because you could think like strings are strings, and to a point, you're right. But when you start branching out and trying a lot of different brands, you will find that they do have different sounds. And like Ed said, you know, certain brands will last you longer than others. Just a real quick pass because I don't want to bore you all to death while I polish frets. But it's just going to make the guitar feel a little bit better. It's not been done for a while. And like I said, they're so flat, there's almost nothing to kind of grab onto. If anyone, how many people we got? I can't see because I'm lagging down, but I was going to say, if anyone's used replacement necks before that aren't Fender, I might be into getting one of those instead of doing a refret, but we'll see. And then I'll frame this neck. Giaska, nice studio, thanks mate. It's a work in progress. I've been here about 5 weeks maybe. We got Chris Lake. Hoping you can help me out with something. I just assembled a Jazzmaster DIY kit. The G string is buzzing. The buzz is coming from the saddle. Should I file the slot? Before you do that, put a tiny little bit of paper in the G string nut. Just something to sort of pinch it and see if you still get that rattle. Because probably 80% of rattles are coming from the nut, even if you think they're coming from somewhere else. So rule out the nut first. If it's still the saddle, I'm just thinking of a Jazzmaster. It's got like sort of Telecaster S, but it's 6 in line, isn't it? On the Jazzmaster, the saddle's like screws. Is there loads of grooves in there? Because I'm honestly not that familiar with Jazzmasters, I'll be honest. I am getting an error saying about my signal, so hopefully it's alright. I missed one there. So, like I said, I don't know what this camera's like, but you'll see the frets are just a bit more shined up and just smooth when the string goes across. Error, you're not receiving enough video. We'll have to see. If the signal's bad, I do apologise. Right, now we'll go on to this, because that'll get all the gunk off the fingerboard, as well as give it some nice lasting hydration. If anyone uses lemon oil on fingerboards, I would highly recommend you ditch it and get the Crimson Restorative instead, because lemon oil, you think it's really good the day you do it, you think, oh, it looks amazing, even the day after, but it rapidly goes away and it's like it was never done. Whereas that Crimson stuff, it keeps it hydrated for honestly months, and it looks so much better, and it cleans it nicely as well. And if you're like me and you've got sensitive skin and you're allergic to everything that isn't water, then it's really good for your skin as well. Whereas lemon oil used to give me sort of rashes and stuff. So it's just a little tip there along the way. Haven't put much on there. You see all the crack coming off. if the signal's bad, which I suspect it is, it will level out as the string goes on. So maybe if you just come back in like 5 minutes, it should be alright by then. Yeah, I've completely gone offline. God damn it. So like I say, you can see all that finger gun coming off. It's lovely. It's a glamorous job. Put a bit more in there. I'm purposely putting a bit less on than normal because the wood itself is still plenty hydrated enough from, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago when I last did it. That's how good that stuff is. But Chris Lake, the saddles are the same as what's on my Epiphone Flying V. So that'd be what, like the Gibson style ABR type bridge saddles. Not sure how to describe them. Well, if they're like that, if they're like a Gibson style, then what I would probably do, yeah, because they're going to have little V-shaped grooves rather than the like screw type grooves. I would use some metal polish first because you don't want to take the saddle down if you know by using a metal file. So get some like have I got any here? No, it's at my workshop. Get some auto sole and rub that in there, and it'll remove the tiniest sort of top layer of the plating, and it might give you the smooth sort of saddle you want. So try that first. Basically, you want to try everything that you know that is reversible, that isn't going to change things beyond repair kind of thing. One last little buffer. Like I said, the guitar neck wasn't dry, that's for sure. Everything's sitting on top of the neck, it's not absorbing anything, but it was very dirty. As I'm sure you can see with that. So there we go. Good drink. I think I've lost my comments a second. Yeah, I had to go ABR style indeed. Yeah, so what I would do then is because on the ABR style, the saddles, they're like V-shaped in the groove. Just use a bit of metal polish in there first because it won't take any metal away, but it might just give you that smoother edge. If not, use, get yourself, whatever, it's the G string, right? So put some super fine sandpaper with the G string across it, so your G string's acting as your sort of thickness, and just rub it in and out of the saddle. That's what I would do. If the auto sole doesn't work. Gieska. I've always used lemon oil on my rosewood. Yeah, I did too. And I was always sort of, after you know the day it was done, I was always like, yeah, it just doesn't look any different now. But definitely that stuff, it's incredible. And bearing in mind, I'm using this probably 4 or 5 times a week at work with the guitars on reverb, and I've only just finished my first pot since April. So if you're using this at home on like 2 or 3 guitars, you'll get probably a year or 2 out of this bottle. So nothing to complain about at all. It's great. And I'll just show you that as well through my crappy little webcam. And hopefully you'll see that's really nice and shiny, clean again, and smells great. Just going to polish the body up a bit as well because I've got loads of you know, grime and usual build-up of rubbish. This is the same sort of stuff, but it's the polish and cleaner, and they come as a 2-pack for about 18 quid, I think. So, but again, lasts you forever. Clean those bits under the strings between the pickups. They're always the dirty bits. I hope these strings are going to be good because I can get them at quite affordable prices. So hopefully they'll be on a par with the D'Adarios and Ernie Balls. Right, so that's about as far as I'm going to go with that. Like I said, it's my own guitar, so I'm not overly fussy about it, but it's just going to be nice and clean and fresh. So let's open up these. So you can tell they're more affordable straight away, to be fair, because they're all together in this little bag. And you don't get different colour balls either, like you do with Didarios and Rotor Sounds. They're all just quite tightly wrapped in this bag. Much more tightly than Ernie balls, but sure, that's not a problem. Just got to make sure you find the right ones. No visual cues apart from the thickness. They are very, very tightly wrapped in there. Definitely not as easy to get to as Ernie balls. So I take my eye out on a live stream. Oh, I told you. Oh man. Anyway. I want to make sure I'm getting this right even though I'm on camera. So yeah, there we go. There's the low E 46. Like I said, no particular order. I just go from low E to high E, put them all on one at a time. Now, I'll show you what I was on about with the locking tuners. So, a lot of the time when I pick up a guitar that has locking tuners on, people, I'll try and get this in as close as I can because I know it's not the easiest angle, but people will treat the machine heads themselves like they would a normal tuner. Let's get that level. So they'll put sort of this much slack in the string like you would on a normal machine head and then wrap it up. With a lock-in tuner, and this works, I've done it a lot of times, you have to just pull this string reasonably tight with your hand. Just trying to see if the camera, I'm getting all kinds of warnings here, so I don't know if it's working or not. But pull the string tight with your hand. Not like crazy tight, but just nice and taut. And then just screw the lock-in tuner in. And again, you don't want to go massively tight with that either. Just so it's finger tight. So you see the string, there's barely any sort of slack in it. Cut that off. And then just wind the string in a bit. Make sure you go the right way. So I'm going to try and show this a bit better. So on the machine head itself, you haven't got any winds around the peg. It's just tightened in and turned tight. That's it. With a lock-in tuner, that's the right way to do it. You don't need to put loads of wraps on the strings. Even on the higher strings. I tend to do like one wrap on the higher strings, but it doesn't need it like a normal machine head does. I see that all the time. So let's go to the A string and do the same thing. You always want to make sure you're getting the string coming across the saddle in the right place. So annoying when you got to undo it to put the string in the right place. So same thing again here. I'm just going to move the hole so it's in line, make it a bit easier. Should have my glasses on for this. Can't see anything in here. There we go. So yeah, pull the string reasonably tight, tighten up the screw at the back, again not overly tight, just finger tight. Cut it off. Tighten it up just a bit, not to pitch or anything. And that'll be fine, that won't move on that locking tuner. I'm definitely going to stand on some cut off strings before this is out. Right, let's go on to the D. Do that one. My internet's playing up really bad. Sorry, folks. You think you've got everything sorted? Same thing again, put it tight, do the thumb wheel up. Cut him off. Bit of tension. do it. Right, now unravel the others. So like I say, I'm getting a hell of a lot of warning things about the stream here, so I'll need to be let know if people can hear me, and I'm on a massive lag as well. I'm going to disconnect my phone and see if that helps. Yeah, so like I said, these Dean Markley strings, they come so tightly wound. It's not to say that's bad, it's just a bit of a nuisance when you're used to the others, you know? Because they are like a little grenade. Crazy tightly wound. That's definitely the first thing I'd change about them, but I suppose that's just being picky, but... Mad. It's literally like a tiny little ball. Let's try and do something a minute. See if that helps, I don't know. Sorry about the stream quality, like I said, I'm just not sure if it's working at this point. There we go, they finally explode into life. So yeah, Dean Markley strings, they come too tightly wound and it's annoying. But hopefully they're still good strings anyway. Go ahead with a G. Always want to make sure the ball is all the way through the block as well. Because that's another thing that'll catch you out. You think you've got it tight, and then boing, it just goes loose. Probably all had that. Get the hole in a line. Definitely need my glasses for this. Definitely. There we go. There again, pull quite tight on it, do the thumb wheeler, and that's it. Job's a good end. Move that out of the way. I'll do. Right, that's the again, the bottoms aren't marked, so you have to just guess by visual. Isn't the easiest thing to do actually when you've got rubbish eyes. Be on. Put it all the way through the block. Find the hole. You can put a little bit less tight on the B and E if you want to, just to give yourself a little bit more slack to round up. But again, you don't really need to with locking tuners. Do that. Last one. Do that up a bit first. Put it under the string tree. There you go. See, there was that thing just happened there with the ball end not being in the block properly. So now that is going to have some winds on it. Which is annoying. I'm stressing about this stream not working. Don't get it. It says excellent connection 1 minute, and then the next it's just not working. Don't think it's been working the last 20 minutes. Bit tight. Do the thumb wheel up. Can someone just pop in and tell me if this stream's still working? Because I have no idea. Right. Put that back a minute. Ed says yes, nice one. Yeah, I just don't know because all I can see on my screen is just saying that it's not working on the YouTube stream health thing. We'll just roll with it. It is what it is. It's just a last minute stream sort of chill thing anyway. Just going to move this microphone back where it was. There, I think. Sorry if that's noisy. All right. There we go. Now I'm just going to tune it up. Usual sort of stuff there. Thought we were a bit high on that one when I wound it on. Ah, by the way, here's another little bonus of the stream. These silver snark things, right? So anyone who follows my Facebook page would have seen that I had the red one before, and loads of people said that the clip where it goes onto the thing is rubbish, and that's true. You've got to really baby it. So on the silver one, I thought I'd get these in because they have this sort of reinforced, you know, block there, but it kills the accuracy of the tuner. These silver snark things, unless you've got a base, they are just rubbish compared to the red ones. So I don't recommend them, honestly, even though you can buy them at second note, but I'd go with the red ones if I were you. So far with these Dean Markley strings, what I would say is the packaging could definitely be improved. They're not the easiest to use and get out, but you know, that's minor. Anyone just joining the stream now is probably like, what are you doing? So just get them all roughly in tune. Won't worry about getting them bang on at this stage because you've got to stretch them anyway. So get them all in tune, and then I just tend to bend them all. Just going to move the camera back as well, because I forgot to do that. Ugh. Right, where are we at there? Check ABS. Do a bit. Yeah, that'll do. So yeah, bend all the strings. Just do loads of bends everywhere. You can do it like this as well, just ping them up. But if your saddles are a bit sort of worn in, you could snap the string. It's the same gauge as I had on before, so I'm not expecting any intonation issues. But again, with string brands, that can be a thing. I have had a guitar in the past where the D string just would not intonate. I used the entire range of motion on the saddle and it just wouldn't work. And I'd heard that strings could mess up your intonation, but I thought it was so uncommon. But it turned out all I did was change the D and it was intonated. So if you've got a guitar that just won't intonate and you haven't changed the strings, it might just be the string, even if they're new. It's so unresponsive, this tuner is. I think it's because of that reinforced sort of neck on it. I have got a plug-in one at work that I use. Well, they're very bright sounding, but you know, you'd expect that, new strings. Might leave that on there a minute. Steve said it's still working, but I've only just got that now, so I don't know when you sent that. On my screen, I'm just moving the camera, and I did that like 5 minutes ago. Oh well. All right, let's plug it in. See if I can sort of notice any sound difference. Get there in the end, all these wires. Hang on. Turn that off. Why that's on. And plug the guitar in would help. A lot of reverb on there, hang on. But in fairness, they feel nice. There's no like weird coating on them. In fairness, they're 9 to 46, but they feel a bit less slinky, to be fair. Obviously, we'll have to keep tuning this, being new strings. So there you go. Is it buffering for anyone else? Yeah, Ed, it's the signal's shocking, mate. My internet's just not coping with the whole family being in and the streaming. So yeah, the strings, you know, they don't feel too bad. They don't have any nasty coating on them, which is nice. But they do feel a little bit less slinky than normal 9 to 46. They feel a bit more tight. That could just be being picky. No intonation issues either. Which is good. Always, that's like my intonation song. If I play this chord and that, and there's something rubbing, and then the guitar's in tune, I know that the intonation's out. Does anyone else have riffs like that where you play them, and they sort of tell you if your guitar's in tune or if your neck's moved a bit or something? See, now it's telling me excellent connection, but the whole stream it's been saying, you know, you're basically not live. So I don't know, like I said, sorry if it's been unbearable with the quality. I'll re-watch it after and see what happened. In fairness, the strings are bedded in quick in terms of staying in tune, quicker than Ernie Ball, I will say that. The Dario always are quick as well. If I was closer, I would have a look, seeing as it's my job. Yeah, working for BT, yeah. Well, when we moved in about 5 weeks ago, BT did come and fit a new box for the fibre, but it was really good the first week, but ever since it's just been shocking, to be fair. Sometimes I can't even watch a normal YouTube video, and I thought it'd be a good idea to do a stream. One thing I am noticing, you won't hear this over the thing because I didn't play it before, but they're darker sounding strings considering they're new. Like when you play it plugged in. That's there you go. That's the bridge. Normally I have to back the tone off a bit there. So yeah, they're a bit darker sounding than Ernie Balls, fresh out the box. But obviously I'll have to use them for, you know, a week or two, see how they hold up. I've fully learnt under the bridge. Nice. Great song. Still getting the warning messages though, so not sure if it is working. looper pedal plugged in, so I was going to do some jams, but quite like that chord progression there. So yeah, I'll post up about how I get on with these strings, because if you're like me and you go through strings really quick and it's hard to find string brands, you know, that you get on with, maybe these D Markleys are quite good. I would criticise the way they're packaged. They're a bit of a pain, and not having the balls coloured, especially when you're doing a string, you get mixed up, but we're all good. The right gauges in the right place. They're all interneted fine, which again, can be an issue with strings. And they don't have any weird coating on them, so hopefully they'll be quite good. But I'll leave it at that because I don't know what's going on with this stream, honestly, and I don't want to stress about it. So I'll just see if any more comments come through, see if I missed any. So yeah, Chris Lake, hopefully I helped you out with that saddle issue. Roll out the nut first. Try metal polish on the saddle before you file it, and then if not, put the string in the sandpaper and use the string to sort of feather it in and out. And Ed, good luck with everything, all your lessons and stuff like that. Cheers for joining the stream. And if you did live close, I would absolutely let you look at the internet, because it's so frustrating when you're trying to do something like this. You've got tech issues. Doesn't matter what you buy, it seems. It's always a problem. I'm not getting any responses here, so I don't know if it's working or not. I think OBS is fine, so it's not that, it is just the internet. I'll give it another minute. Wait. They're definitely a bit darker sounding. When I put new strings on, I expect that sort of annoying brightness, but it's not there with these at all. They just sound like normal strings. That little lick there is it's so nice in Lenny. If you can just get that feel right with it as well. Which wasn't it? See, again, you are not receiving video to maintain streaming, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know. I'll try and fix it. Ed, if you are still watching, I have my PC wired, not wireless. Is there anything you recommend to improve internet connection when you've got a family of, you know, kids and whatever using Netflix and stuff? Hello. Should have got my looper pedal on. Hang on. So no, I might have to leave it there because, like I said, I'm just not sure what's happening here. Sometimes it's looking okay. Excuse me, and then sometimes it's just dying. So, like I said, I'll get going in a sec. I'll just touch on what I did at the start for anyone who has just joined that I can't see. Just wanted to do a new stream quickly, answer any questions, have a chat with everyone, and testing out these new Dean Markley strings, and I'll see how they get on. The raffle questions I had was, what if the time runs out on the raffle before the tickets are sold? So basically, raffle will give you 75% of all ticket sales if the time runs out before the tickets do. But if it's close, I will still send out the guitars. And my stock update for the Reverb store, for anyone that follows that, there will be new stock added towards the end of this week because I've had some car issues and stuff that stopped me getting stock last week. And that's pretty much it. So future videos coming up. I have anyone who's watched the Tokai Les Paul video I did, that's quite a popular video. The guy who bought that, I actually know now, and he's done a load of mods to it, and we're going to bring it back and sort of talk about what mods has been done, how it is now, and he's a really good blues player as well, real good. So that'd be cool. Coming up later in the year,